Hey guys, it's Gowri and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing my stats, my extracurriculars, my Common Up essay, and other things that helped get me into a few of the Ivies, Harvard, UPenn, and Stanford and USC and a couple of other colleges. Before we get into the video, I just want to preface by saying that you shouldn't let your stats or anything else on paper define who you are as a student, as a person applying to any of these colleges. What really matters is that you're doing something that you love and that you're being able to express yourself, and I don't think you should let a college acceptance or rejection define who you are. But with that said, let's get into the video. Okay, so we'll start off with stats. My unweighted GPA was a 4.0. My weighted GPA was a 5.3208 out of a 5.0. And the only reason that we had weighted GPAs is because we had like traditional classes, dual credit classes, like college courses and all, and then we had APs. You could take APs, and then we had IB classes, or the International Baccalaureate program. And so I was in the IB program, which gave me the highest GPA boost. So I was able to get a really high GPA thanks to that. My rank, so I applied as number 4 out of 457 because we finalized transcripts at the end of my junior year, and so I sent that rank in. But by the end of my senior year, I dropped to 6. But that's okay, because rank isn't everything. So if you end up dropping a little, like a few spots or like a lot, like that's fine. Like I put way too much pressure on myself, like trying to be in the top 2% of my class, and then in the end you kind of realize like it's not worth it. So yeah, don't stress too much about rank. I think what really matters the most when you're applying to colleges is like that you're doing something and you're investing your time in something that's important to you, and I'll get a little more into that later on. And then my SAT was a 1560. I got a perfect score on the math, and then I made a 760 on the English and writing section. My advice for SATs or ACTs is start studying as soon as you can. And the thing about SATs and ACTs is that a lot of the material is stuff that we already know. So it's stuff that we learned in, middle school and high school, and the only hard part about it to me was like trying to remember everything that we learned. And I think the best advice that I could give to you is like practicing as much as you can, because at some point you'll learn the test and you'll kind of start to put yourself in the minds of the people that make the test. And that's kind of how I was able to get my score up that high. It took me I took the test 2 times, and it's okay to take it as many times as you need. I only sent that once for it. So I was able to take a few AP tests. I only got 1.5, but that's okay. So in 10th grade, I took computer science principles, and I got a 5 on that. And then I took world history, not my strongest class. I actually hated that class, and I got a 3. So, and I got lucky with, I actually got lucky passing the world history exam because it was during like the COVID year. So we took everything like online and at home, and everything was like a shortened test. And then in 11th grade, I took calculus AB, and I got a 4 on that, which not too bad. And then literature and composition, I got a 3. That wasn't good. And then in my 11th and 12th grade year, I took IB classes because the IB program is a 2-year program. So I took IB Spanish B SL only in my junior year because I was a year ahead. So I took my IB test in that last year, and I got a 6 out of 7. So not too bad. And then this year I took my tests for mathematics, analysis and approaches SL, thank God, psychology HL, language A, literature HL, history of the Americas HL, chemistry SL, and then I had a TOK class, or a theory of knowledge class, which every IB student takes, but there's no tests on that, thank God. But yeah, if you do have the IB program in your school, I would definitely recommend trying to get into it, because I know it is a lot of work, and it leads to a lot of late nights and a lot of stress, but I think it's ultimately worth it because of how the structure or the learning structure is formed, and I found it completely different than what I experienced in AP classes or in my 9th and 10th grade year. And I think it really helps you prepare for college because you end up writing a lot of essays, and even though you might not like it, it is going to be really helpful for what lies ahead. So if you can, definitely get into the IB program. So extracurriculars. So I'll start off with the one that I think was the most valuable on my Common Apps and my applications. So I am involved with an organization called the Technology Student Association, and it is a national STEM and business education dedicated to providing opportunities in competition, service, and leadership. And so I joined this organization when I was in the 7th grade, and then so 7th grade, and I competed in a lot of events. I placed nationally, and then in high school I decided to venture into the leadership side of TSA, Technology Student Association, and I served as a state officer of Texas my 10th grade year, and then 11th grade I served as the national TSA treasurer, and now finishing out my TSA journey, I am now the national TSA president of over 250,000 members nationwide. So I definitely think that this extracurricular had the most weight in my application, or the most value in my application, because it showed that I was consistently involved with something throughout my high school career, and that I was trying to make an impact. I think that's what colleges really want to see, that you are kind of taking charge of something, that you want to be a leader or you want to make change in some type of area. And so this area for me was technology, career and technical education, and I think that if you end up if you end up being involved in something that you're naturally passionate about, it will not feel like work to you at all. It'll be something that is a great journey for you to venture on. You can because from TSA I was able to develop my public speaking skills. I found my passion for advocacy and for law. Ironic though, it is Technology Student Association, but it's fine. But just try choosing something that you just naturally have a love for. And so besides the TSA, or besides the Technology Student Association, I also founded a mental health club at my school because I'm also passionate about mental health advocacy. And so I had that my junior and senior year, and that's another thing that I believe stood out in my essay, because it was something I was really passionate about. It still is, and it shows consistency in my high school career, and it shows that I identified a problem in my school that we didn't have any mental health resources, and it shows that I wanted to be part of the change. And so I think just definitely let that passion inside of you, whether that's doing something in the law field or in the medical field or helping children overall, just let that passion guide you, and you'll find the activities and the clubs that are meant for you or where you belong. Besides that, I was a 4-year member of the varsity tennis team at my school. Once again, shows consistency in my application. In my senior year, I was able to be a co-captain along with my fellow seniors on the tennis team. I also founded an educational nonprofit that provided backpacks and school supplies to students in need in my community and in some parts of Guatemala. And then the last two, I was a youth advisory board member for Hope for the Day, which is a Chicago-based mental health nonprofit. And so that kind of ties in with my mental health advocacy and the mental health club that I founded. So that's kind of showing, once again, consistency in my application. And then I was on the student board of directors for a local bank. They only selected about 60 students in my area to participate in a financial literacy program. I think that was probably the most, irrelevant part of my application, because I feel like everything else in my extracurriculars had some type of deeper meaning, or it naturally made sense to who I was presenting as myself, in the application. I don't know if that made sense, but it's okay. Okay, so now we'll get into honors and awards. So first, I was a member of the National Honor Society. I got inducted into the 10th grade, and it's a fairly easy process. So if you're a 9th grader or a 10th grader, I would maybe ask your guidance counselor more information about it if you want to be part of that. And then I also had the Rotary Youth Leadership Award, which is given by your local Rotary Club, and you kind of, once you're awarded that, you like participate in some like type of leadership camp, and mine was virtual since because of COVID and all, and I would recommend asking your guidance counselor about that too. And then I was National Merit Commended on the PSAT. I was an AP Scholar with distinction, and then like I mentioned before, I was the varsity tennis team co-captain. So that's it for all of my honors and awards and everything, I guess. Yeah, everything on my application that I submitted. My main advice is to get involved or participate in something that you're truly passionate about, because that's gonna truly shine on in your application, and colleges are really gonna get to know the real you, and that's what they really want out of this whole application process. They want to see if you're the right fit for their college, and of course you're going to be the right fit for their college. All you need to do is just let your personality shine through all of your essays and applications. And speaking of essays, I'd say that's also a major part of the application process. You could have, average statistics and average extracurriculars, and if you let your essays, or if you really spend a lot of time on your essays, that's going to be a big part of your application that college admission officers will remember, because this is one of the few opportunities that you can kind of connect with the admissions officer one-on-one, and you kind of show them who you are. So I will share my Common App essay with you guys. Don't make fun of it, because I've seen amazing Common Apps like on YouTube, I'm blown away by how amazing people write, and mine is subpar. But I did write it about TSA, since that was such a big part of my middle school and high school career. Let's get right into my Common App essay. So the prompt was: discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and a new understanding of yourself or others. So here I go. Running for the office of Texas TSA Treasurer, Gowri Gale. As fellow candidates wished me luck on my campaign speech, I strided onto stage with a bottomless pit of anxiety in my stomach. The stage lights immediately blinded my vision, while the vast audience horrified me. But there was no way out now. Hearing the faint cheers of my friends from the crowd, I gathered every last bit of my composure and silenced the doubtful voices in my head. Inhale, exhale, begin. My TSA journey doesn't reside in the long lines of airport security checks. Instead, my TSA is the Technology Student Association, a national STEM organization dedicated to competition, service, and leadership. Running for a state office as a wide-eyed freshman catalyzed my transition into a confident, graceful leader. TSA isn't my only passion. Tennis gives me the strength to overcome challenges both on and off the court. My mental health club serves as a beacon of hope in my school, and writing is the perfect remedy to all of my worries. Still, TSA is the most meaningful aspect of my high school experience. When it was announced that I had won my race for state treasurer, I was awestruck, unable to believe that the 40,000 members of Texas TSA elected me as their representative. Reality eventually set in, and the next stop on my journey was a fall leadership conference in the December of my sophomore year. The state officers and I conducted leadership training sessions and hosted several lively events, such as the regatta boat race, where students daringly sail on their handcrafted cardboard boats across a frigid pool. I was most proud of our bingo night fundraiser, as we raised $2,000 for our national service project, the American Cancer Society. Though the pandemic suspended our upcoming plans, I was determined to further my commitment to TSA and run for national TSA treasurer. Since campaigning was strictly virtual, I harnessed the networking and aesthetic power of social media and produced a compelling platform for my audience. Once campaigning concluded, my family and I watched the live stream of the election results. Fingers crossed and eyes closed, I took a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Suddenly, a voice broke the silence, calling my name for the position of National Treasurer. A wave of relief and pride washed over me as I erupted out of my seat in joy. Whether my junior year was in person or virtual, I was ready to help lead our membership through any adversity. As expected, every TSA event was held virtually for health concerns, and the national officers and I saw our unprecedented situation as an opportunity to write history. Bridging the miles between us, we came together and successfully hosted the first ever virtual national TSA conference in the summer. At the same time, I set my sights on concluding my TSA journey as the national president. Leading as the national president would be the greatest service I could give. Leading as the national oh my gosh, I can't speak today. Leading as the national president would be the greatest service I could return to TSA for all that it had given me. My closest friends, an innovative mind, and a profound passion to make a purposeful impact on the world. After 4 nerve-wracking days of constant campaigning, the moment had finally arrived to see if my fervid efforts were enough. Instead of letting my nerves overwhelm me, I embraced them. Your 2021-2022 National TSA President is, inhale, exhale, Gowri Rangil. Tears flooded my vision while my family exclaimed in delight. Was this really happening? 250,000 members all over the country, and they elected me to be their voice. Remember this moment. The gleam in your parents' eyes, the roar of cheers from your brothers, and the hope that you feel. This is just the beginning, Gowri. For most people, TSA is simply an airport obligation. But those 3 words will always remind me of the true power of my voice. So that was my Common App essay. That's it for this video. My stats, my extracurriculars, my honors and awards, my Common App essay. And if you have any questions about the application process or just anything in general, just leave them in the comments below, and I will respond. Yeah, I'll respond. And for the last video I posted about my college decisions, thank you so much for the support. I really loved reading all of your comments, and some of you guys reached out to me on Instagram, which is so nice of you. I didn't realize I don't know, it just made me really happy inside. So I definitely will keep making videos regardless of how many people view it, because if it helps at least one person, then it means the world to me. So thank you for watching this video. I'll be back next Friday. I don't know if I'll do a college video. I was thinking of, making it a different type of video. You'll see. I look a little crazy right now. But yeah, thank you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.